it struck me that in contract law, a contract is only legal if it's at arm's length, if it's approached with a balance of power on both sides. We don't have that balance of power in the contracts we as laborers negotiate in our society anymore. You're helpless if you don't have something like a union backing you, because you can't negotiate against Chrysler or Ford or an oil and gas company or BNSF or any of these other corporations. You're powerless against them unless you're organized. So we need the strength of our unions to get something fair out of society, out of our corporations. And you combine that thought with Medicare for all. Right now, our health system, you negotiate that through your job, and your employer shouldn't be controlling your health. It's not a profit center. It's a right that you should have and access to it. So I'm a supporter, for example, of Medicare for all, because I don't want some company telling me what kind of health care I can get, or when I can get it, or whether I can take it with me to another job. I've suffered through that. I lost my own business, my personal business, when I was 58. I was an entrepreneur, and when the recession hit, and I've suffered through that. I was paying $500 to $600 a month for medicines I needed, and I didn't have a job. That's not right. That shouldn't happen to anybody. You as millennials know that you're going to change job every 5 years. You're not married to you don't want to end up married to a company. You want to be married to whoever you want as your partner through life. Okay? And your health care should travel with you so you can make the decision about where you want to work and what you want to do. Okay, so I'm here just to let you know that I'm running for Congress. I support these issues, and especially a woman's right to choose. My God, I'm the first man in America to have a minor in women's studies. In 1975, when I got out of the Navy, I did fight in Vietnam. I'm a combat veteran. I went to San Diego State and enrolled as a sociology major. And the Women's Studies Department at San Diego State was the first to form. They formed in that spring semester of 1975. They were the first to offer a minor, and I was the first man in the department and completed the minor. So as far as I know, I'm the first man in America to have a minor in women's studies, which has helped me with my wife and talking to my two daughters. I survived their teenage years. But anyway, I'm totally for a woman's right to choose, and that's non-negotiable for me. About 2 months ago, I actually made a promise at one of the Democratic Party meetings, and I am running as a Democrat. That's the only way you can get on the ballot and be successful, because the goal is to win the seat, okay, not just make noise. But I made a promise that I'm going to donate, of my $174,000 salary as a congressperson, I'm going to donate $100,000 of that to two causes that I believe in. And I'm going to do this for the first 2 years of my time in office. $50,000 a year to the Women's Center of Fort Worth, and $50,000 a year to support Planned Parenthood of Tarrant County. Okay, if I have to surf sofas in Washington, D.C., or rent a room at the Y, or carry my camping tent with me because I like camping, I'll do it. But I'm going to make sure that they get that money from me once I'm in office. Okay, that's one of my pledges that I've made. I'm going to support those causes I firmly believe in. But anyway. Any questions? Quick ones?
What's this?
Would you repeat your last name?
Woolum. It's Woolum. You can go to Woolum, the number, and I didn't bring any literature with me, I'm sorry. Woolum, the number 4, Texas, TX, just TX, Woolum4TX.com. My website. If you Google up my name, you'll have a lot of fun. If you Google up Al Woolum, and maybe just the word images behind it, you'll see me getting arrested over in Dallas at one of the protests. You'll see me taking a knee during the playing of the national anthem, wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt and this cap. You'll see me doing a lot of things out in the street, standing in front of mosques, supporting the Islamic community. I've done a lot of things facing off with white militia groups in the streets. But I'm trying to take that activism and what I know about business and my understanding about how society works to the US Congress, and I need your support for that. Okay? Thank you. Anybody? I got to rush off to get to work. No, I can take a question too while they're setting up here.
What, District 12? Okay.
Yeah, Texas District 12. It's currently Kay Granger. I call her Kremlin K. I call her MIA K. She's missing in action. She hasn't been seen in the town hall in 10 years.
Wow.
I think that maybe she has some, I'll call it, well, I won't say it on camera. She has some issues that I'll discuss later once I'm on the ballot. Because the ballot will be set in December, but with the primary March 3rd, don't forget to vote. Yeah. Any other questions?
When is that primary again?
The primary is Super Tuesday, March 3rd.
Okay, a year from
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I have to, submit my candidate's petition or my filing fees on, in December. November, December is that period. And then you've got 3 months for the primary and then off to the general election after that. And we have a wide variety of good candidates for the presidency on the Democratic side. I know most of you are probably Bernie supporters, but there are a lot of good candidates out there. If it's not Bernie, I want one of the women candidates who I like. But, I'm good with whoever gets the job, except for God. I'm going to look. I don't want to stand next to Joe. And in this stage of identity politics, I know it seems a little unusual to have an old white guy like me asking for your support, especially women, millennials, minorities. But if you look at my track record of what I've done, and you don't know about all of my history because it goes back to the 60s. I mean, my first protest against racism was in 1968, when some athletes from Texas, El Paso, were protesting against their involvement with Brigham Young University and the racial politics of the Mormon Church, and they were suspended from that university, and I was out there supporting them. So I mean, this goes way back for me. It's very personal.
So, I think I first met you at the Sean King speech at a Como church.
Yes.
So, what other kinds of?
Do you remember what Sean said about me? You don't remember that? He talked about allies, and then he made a little comment about me, and yeah. Anyway, yeah, Sean King and I are good friends. I've met him 4 or 5 times, and I communicate with him. So, and I've been out there supporting, like Lee Merritt, the attorney for the young man that was shot over in Balch Springs, and
Jordan Edwards.
Jordan Edwards, the young 15-year-old that was shot, and some of the others. So I've been heavily involved in civil rights actions. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. At Como, I also saw him at UT Arlington, and when he spoke at El Centro College in downtown Dallas, and he came here for some other events too. So.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you taking a minute to listen to me. And how many of you live in Texas 12? 1, 2, 3. Good. I know I've got at least 6 votes. I think. And I think I'm probably going to be unopposed, so I should be on the ballot, and then there'll be other opportunities to speak. I don't think anybody else wants to run against Kay Granger, but I'm ready to do it. Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you.